Probably the first question I have, Mike and Eddie, coming to both of you with some of the plans and ideas we've had in some of our buildings, especially in this building with pursuing LEED Platinum, a higher level of energy efficiency. I know there was some reluctance at first, but you really became big supporters. Not only does the building staff appreciate that, I appreciate that. Can you tell me a little bit about, how you've changed your opinion or thoughts about sustainability and energy efficiency as it relates to our buildings?
Well, I think what really helped me a lot, Carlos, was the fact and your ability to put the numbers together and to show on paper what the payback is and what the cost is, the risk, the rewards, and that kind of thing, which a lot of this is new to me, the technology. You're certainly aware of the cutting edge things that are out there. And as such, it's just such a great resource that you can bring that to us. And in my position, I try to filter through that and determine if that's going to serve the building best, the tenants best, and the owner's goals and objectives. Mm-hmm. So I think your ability to put that on paper and show where the energy savings are going to be helped me feel more comfortable with these projects as they've progressed.
Yeah, I think, looking at it from whether when we started out as a public company or then going into a private company, obviously, whether it's stockholders or investors, what they're looking at is an improved bottom line. Most companies can talk about the commitment to sustainability, the commitment to the environment, but where the rubber meets the road is really then how it's going to work financially, because it has to be more than a simple philanthropic effort. And I think what we kept looking at was how can we both measure the quantitative side of dollar savings and then try and put some measurement to the qualitative side of where it makes sense to do it, where tenants have sensitivities. Like one of the things that we were talking about was you could see on the horizon that legislation was moving towards a requirements for energy conservation, potentially requirements for LEED certification on construction, and I think we were smart in thinking through that and saying better to be in front of that rather than be doing that with a gun at your head. Right. It was a smarter thing to do, because then you do have a marketing advantage than the person who waits till the last hour and does it then. If you're doing it 2 years ahead of them, then you've got the ability to go to the marketplace and appeal to those businesses that you want in your buildings that see the advantage and are willing to pay what it takes to be in a building that does have a LEED certification or does have a very well thought through and a vibrant energy management system. And I think that's worked well for us in a number of buildings across the country. So I think that's that's a big part of that.
I think what's helped us too, Mike and Eddie, is I'm glad you mentioned the financial calculator, because that was a tool we've honed and used. Mike's helped us out. Our chief financial officer has helped us out with this form or spreadsheet to really say, okay, what does it look like from an investment standpoint? And that's what's helped me to be able to present it to both of you, because it's always nice to do some of these projects, but I understand if it doesn't meet an investor's requirement or the project's asset strategy, it could be money wasted in a sense. So I think that's where a lot of other organizations and companies really fall short. They don't know how to make that financial case. Would you agree?
I think they are too short-sighted, and I think especially in commercial real estate, I mean the person who is it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Real estate is around for decades, and not quarter to quarter. And you've got to begin to think out. You've got to begin to think out next year, next decade. Are you positioned properly for what the future consumer, meaning the tenants, are going to want in your buildings? And you want to do your level best to create differentiation from your competitors in the marketplace. And it's true, as a lot of the competitors are, simply unlock the doors in the morning, collect the rent checks, and life goes on. I think the way we try and do it is a little bit different than them.
I think also having all the details spelled out and having them identified before we get into actually doing the project, for me, it has been a great resource and a tool to measure how we are moving forward with it and controlling costs and identifying. You're always going to have changes in the middle of the project for things you don't foresee, but if you've identified everything in the beginning that you as a budget, and then you run into those things where you've got to do change orders, it's a lot easier for somebody to explain that as we go through the project and continue to evaluate it. I mean, at some point, maybe you've got to step back and reevaluate whether you're going to move forward or not. So that's was very helpful for me, is the detail going in, and I think that's what ended up resulting in us completing these projects within the price range that we anticipated going in.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I'm amazed at within our group, where I think we're very successful at collaborating what we do, what we'd like to do. We have a very good working relationship with those things that would add value, that wouldn't add value, and just the whole spirit of, Mike, you're a great teacher in telling us, well, from a base year standpoint or a lease structure standpoint, it doesn't benefit us to do some of these projects. And that's still a concept I think the industry as a whole doesn't understand, and I'm still trying to get honed in on what all that means. Mm-hmm. Different lease structures, different, how that's all built up. And what do you tell other people when it comes to either triple net, or if their expenses are built into their, rent, and they want to do some of these projects, but yet they can't see the value to them, or it's not clearly spelled out?